July 8, 2026. Tech and SaaS financial news. The Great Frontier. Fintech moonshots and AI takeoff. Disclaimer: this content is news and not official legal, financial, or medical advice. Fintech and DeFi. Global Stablecoin Alliance launches. In a landmark fintech development, a coalition of over 140 financial and tech giants, including Google, Visa, BlackRock, and Samsung, has launched a new stablecoin called OpenUSD. This initiative signals mainstream finance's biggest foray yet into the cryptocurrency world, aiming to create a widely accepted digital dollar for seamless global transactions. At the heart of OpenUSD is a promise of zero fees for minting and redeeming coins, with partners sharing in the stablecoin's reserve interest rather than ceding it to a central issuer. The stablecoin operates under collaborative governance via an independent board composed of its corporate partners, reflecting a shift toward decentralization even among traditional banking players. Among the backers are not just crypto startups, but household names in banking and tech, from MasterCard and IBM to Stripe and Coinbase, underscoring how digital asset integration has become a strategic priority across industries. With plans to go live later this year, OpenUSD is poised to reshape cross-border payments and treasury operations, potentially paving the way for more mainstream stablecoin uses in everyday commerce, and maybe one day even interplanetary commerce. Fintech futures. +1. Fintech futures. As background, stablecoins are already bridging traditional finance and cryptocurrency at a massive scale. By March 2026, the circulating supply of fiat-backed stablecoins topped $273 billion, with about $10.9 trillion in on-chain transactions recorded in 2025, volumes approaching those processed by Visa in an entire year. Payment networks like Visa have begun handling stablecoin settlements directly, reporting $4.6 billion in such transactions on their own network in a recent quarter. Meanwhile, a survey found 96% of large corporations plan to use stablecoins by 2027, thanks to new laws like the United States Genius Act and Europe's MiCA that brought much-needed regulatory clarity to digital assets in 2026. With this groundwork in place, OpenUSD's no-fee, partner-governed model could accelerate the fusion of mainstream banking and decentralized finance. The vision appeals to CFOs and policymakers alike, foreshadowing a future of near-instant, frictionless global money movement that might even extend beyond Earth's borders one day. Fintech bloom. Fintech bloom. +1. For global finance, initiatives like OpenUSD highlight how technology is rewriting the concept of money and value exchange. Some experts see such developments eventually competing with central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, and nudging governments to innovate faster to keep up. However, broad private sector adoption also brings new calls for oversight. Regulators are already strengthening rules for digital assets, with authorities like the UK's Financial Conduct Authority, FCA, mandating that stablecoin issuers hold significantly higher reserve capital by 2027. If managed prudently, stablecoins could offer businesses and individuals faster, cheaper financial transactions worldwide while maintaining stability and compliance. The coming years will test whether collaborative fintech experiments like OpenUSD can deliver on their promise and win public trust. Either way, the race to innovate in finance is clearly speeding up, echoing humanity's drive to conquer new frontiers and extend our economic reach to wherever opportunity awaits. Fintech futures. Finance and fintech. Fintech M&A revival and SoFi's big buy. In a sign of renewed fintech consolidation, US-based digital finance company SoFi Technologies has acquired most assets of UK startup PrimaryBid, which built a platform to give everyday investors access to stock market offerings like IPOs. The financial terms weren't disclosed, but the strategic logic is clear. SoFi gains control of technology that aggregates retail investor demand for new stock and bond issues, historically an institutional domain. By incorporating PrimaryBid's capabilities, SoFi can offer its millions of users direct participation in initial public offerings and other capital market deals at institutional-level terms, further expanding beyond its core banking and lending services. The move follows a prior partnership between the companies and arrives after London's IPO market slowdown pressured primary bids' standalone prospects. For SoFi, which recently reported over $1.1 billion in quarterly revenue, up 43% year-on-year, the deal strengthens its product lineup and appears to have boosted investor confidence, as SoFi's stock rose about 3% on the news. More broadly, analysts say 2026 is shaping up to be a banner year for fintech mergers and acquisitions after a cautious period. The SoFi primary bid tie-up is part of a larger wave. Crypto exchange operator Payward, parent of Kraken, recently agreed to buy payments startup Reap in a $600 million deal. And India's Pine Labs bolstered its e-commerce capabilities by acquiring retail tech firm Shopflow. Established financial companies and startups alike are increasingly open to such strategic deals to expand capabilities, consolidate competition, and achieve global scale, a trend fueled by stabilizing valuations and warming capital markets. With interest rates appearing to plateau and investor optimism returning, cross-border deals are more common, reflecting the global nature of fintech innovation. After years of intense competition and a venture funding pullback, numerous fintech startups are finding that joining forces via acquisition is a viable path forward. The result may be an industry gradually dominated by a smaller cohort of full-service fintech platforms, each combining payments, lending, wealth management, and compliance offerings under one roof for maximum customer reach and retention. Fintech Bloom. Fintech Bloom. +1. As fintech firms combine forces, they aim to serve customers better by bundling banking, investment, and payment services, although some observers warn that heavy consolidation could dampen competition in the long run. Still, the deal-making momentum suggests the sector is entering a new phase of maturity, shedding last year's turbulence and regaining investor interest. The stage is now set for these larger fintech players to eventually tap public markets themselves, potentially giving stock investors new opportunities to back high-growth financial technology ventures. Bolder, well-capitalized fintech platforms might even become the next market leaders, reflecting how quickly this sector is evolving. In a way, the competitive push among fintech companies today feels like a high-stakes new frontier, a financial space race to deliver next-generation services to people across the globe. If innovation stays human-centric, the biggest winners will ultimately be everyday users who could enjoy more accessible, integrated financial solutions that improve their lives. Legal tech and compliance. AI-powered law firm rises. In legal tech and compliance news, AI-driven law startup Norm announced it has raised $120 million in fresh funding at a valuation of roughly $1.2 billion, making it the latest unicorn in the legal technology space. Founded less than 3 years ago, Norm is building an AI-native law firm, deploying its own artificial attorneys under human lawyer supervision to automate research, contract drafting, and compliance tasks for corporate clients. Unlike traditional law firms that bill by the hour, Norm charges based on outcomes delivered, reflecting how AI can boost efficiency in legal work. Its Series C funding was led by prominent tech investor Khosla Ventures alongside other major venture and legal industry backers. With more than $260 million raised to date, Norm plans to accelerate development of its autonomous legal AI agents and hire additional human attorneys to oversee these systems as it scales up to meet enterprise demand. The company's rapid ascent and bold approach suggest how quickly artificial intelligence is transforming even the centuries-old practice of law. TechCrunch. Norm's success is part of a broader transformation sweeping through law and compliance. With legal work often expensive, repetitive, and document-heavy, the promise of AI to automate tasks like contract review, e-discovery, and regulatory compliance has sparked enormous investment. Legal tech startups raised a record $2.4 billion in 2025, and 2026 is already outpacing that. Major firms and in-house counsel are moving beyond small pilots and deploying AI at scale. Platforms such as Harvey and Legora have been adopted by leading law firms across the US and Europe, and have amassed tens of thousands of lawyer users by demonstrating reliable results and cost savings. These AI systems use natural language processing to turn hours of research or contract drafting into minutes, freeing human professionals for higher-value advisory work. Regulators are watching closely too, with new frameworks and AI governance guidelines emerging to ensure transparency, data privacy, and accountability in AI-assisted legal services. Experts say this human plus machine model could dramatically improve access to justice, giving more people and businesses affordable legal support, a hopeful blueprint as law boldly enters its own new frontier. A Fintech tracker. For attorneys and clients, the rise of AI in legal services promises to handle tedious paperwork and compliance checks faster, potentially reducing costs and human errors. Many see an opportunity to expand access to legal counsel by automating routine tasks, making quality legal services more affordable for businesses and individuals. The integration of AI into legal practice does raise important questions: how to maintain professional standards, avoid bias, and clarify liability when algorithms assist in decision-making. Industry leaders insist that human oversight remains crucial. Norm's model of AI agents supervised by experienced lawyers could become standard practice to ensure quality and ethics. As the legal sector navigates these challenges, the prevailing sentiment is optimistic. If done right, technology will augment human expertise rather than replace it, enabling a more efficient, people-centric justice system. It's as if the legal world is launching into orbit on a new trajectory, with humans still firmly at the controls to guide AI toward fair outcomes. E-commerce and retail tech. AI agent shopping takes off. In e-commerce and retail tech, Square, the commerce arm of Block Incorporated, has unveiled a novel integration with AI chat platforms, enabling consumers to order from restaurants directly through AI assistants like OpenAI's ChatGPT and Anthropic's Claude. With this agentic commerce feature, a customer can ask a chatbot to find a nearby cafe with a specific dish and seamlessly place an order using natural language. And the request is processed through Square's platform into the restaurant's existing point-of-sale and kitchen systems. Crucially for merchants, Square is charging only its standard payment processing fee, 3%, eliminating the hefty 15 to 30% commissions that restaurants typically pay to delivery marketplaces like Uber Eats or DoorDash. The integration automatically syncs with a restaurant's real-time menu and inventory, ensuring AI agents won't offer out-of-stock items, and it taps a flat-fee courier network, around $7 to $10 per delivery, for orders that need to be delivered. Square's goal is to help small businesses capture the growing wave of AI-driven consumer demand without sacrificing margin, effectively giving local restaurants a chance to join the space-age shopping experience without feeling like they've been launched to the moon on fees. VentureBeat. +1. Square's move aligns with a broader trend. More than 42% of consumers now use AI tools to assist with shopping tasks like product discovery and comparison. Analysts predict these agentic shoppers could drive up to $385 billion in U.S. e-commerce spending by 2030, as conversational AI compresses the path from desire to purchase. Tech companies are racing to adapt. Square is working with partners like Google to establish industry standards for AI-driven commerce. And it's participating in global working groups to shape how digital assistants interface with shopping platforms at scale. E-commerce leaders know that the first to master AI-powered shopping will gain a significant competitive edge in capturing consumers' attention and wallets. By embedding today's futuristic-sounding features, like chatbot ordering, into everyday retail, these firms are bringing a bit of the space age into our daily lives, making shopping ever more convenient and personalized, and providing a glimpse of how we might one day shop even in far-flung locales. VentureBeat. Square's AI ordering gambit is also a strategic play in the fierce battle for the future of retail and food delivery tech. Traditional delivery platforms, while popular, have squeezed merchants with high fees, but democratized AI ordering could upend that model and empower small businesses. If consumers embrace chatting with a digital concierge to get their morning coffee or dinner delivered, Restaurants would reclaim control of customer relationships and profitability in ways not seen since the pre-app era. The key will be building trust and habit, convincing people that a friendly AI assistant can handle their orders accurately and securely. If that happens, robot-assisted ordering could soon be as common as tapping an app, streamlining commerce on Earth, and maybe even in the first off-world colonies. That's the exciting promise of this human-centric technology, making transactions effortless and accessible, no matter where the customer might be. Cybersecurity and risk management. AI arms race in cyber threats. In cybersecurity and risk management, a wave of high-profile breaches and novel threats is putting global companies on high alert and forcing innovation in defenses. In Japan, insurance giant Aflac revealed a breach that exposed sensitive customer and bank account data, stark evidence that even well-guarded financial firms remain vulnerable. Around the same time, telecom provider KDI disclosed an incident potentially compromising 14.2 million email accounts after attackers exploited a flaw in third-party software, underscoring the ongoing risks of supply chain vulnerabilities. Meanwhile, security researchers warn that artificial intelligence is giving rise to new kinds of exploits. One method, dubbed bioshocking, manipulates AI-based web browsers via malicious prompts, tricking them into bypassing safety rules and revealing private data. Similarly, a stealthy malware known as macOS Gaslight uses AI-generated pop-ups and fake debugging messages to evade detection by automated security tools, stealing passwords from targeted systems. These incidents show that as technology advances, cybercriminals are exploring ever more clever techniques to breach systems, making robust cybersecurity measures and proactive risk management more crucial than ever. A security planet. Fortunately, defenders are also adapting and joining forces across borders to counter these threats. In a major victory, an international law enforcement coalition recently dismantled the Steel Sea malware network under Operation Endgame, seizing over 25.6 million stolen credentials and taking down a global malware-as-a-service ring. The U.S. Department of Justice even offered a $10 million reward for information on state-sponsored hackers targeting secure messaging apps, underscoring how seriously governments now treat digital threats to citizens and infrastructure. On the corporate side, companies are bolstering risk management and compliance efforts by adopting stricter controls and seeking security certifications, like SOC 2 audits, to assure customers and partners of their resilience. There's also a push for AI to play defense. Businesses are deploying advanced algorithms for real-time anomaly detection, behavioral monitoring, and continuous authentication to counter the speed and sophistication of AI-accelerated attacks. In short, a culture of proactive cybersecurity is emerging, one that treats digital threats as a board-level priority and leverages innovation to stay one step ahead of adversaries. A security planet. Fintech bloom. +1. We are witnessing what amounts to a digital arms race in cyberspace, a contest that could shape the future as profoundly as any global conflict or space race. Yet there is a silver lining. Just as attackers are exploiting AI to supercharge their assaults, defenders too are harnessing cutting-edge AI for good. With careful oversight, human expertise combined with intelligent algorithms can outsmart even AI-augmented hackers, identifying threats and patching vulnerabilities faster than ever. Security leaders are embracing a zero-trust philosophy, and tools like phishing-resistant multi-factor authentication and AI-driven threat intelligence, aiming to protect sensitive data against both human and machine-run attacks. The cybersecurity community, much like a crew navigating through a field of digital asteroids, is banding together with determination and creativity. This innovative, people-centered approach to risk management gives hope that we can safeguard our digital world for the long term, ensuring technology remains a force for human progress rather than peril. A security planet. +1. Video description. Dive into today's top tech and SaaS financial news stories for July 8, 2026, from a mega fintech stablecoin launch by 140 global companies to a blockbuster fintech acquisition opening up stock market access, to a legal tech startup raising $120 million to bring AI into the courtroom. We'll also explore how Square's new chatbot ordering could transform e-commerce and how an AI-driven cybersecurity arms race is igniting innovation to protect us. Don't miss these 5 deep dive stories at the cutting edge of finance, technology, retail, law, and security. Video tags, tech news, fintech, finance, cryptocurrency, DeFi, stablecoin, OpenUSD, banking, legal tech, AI, artificial intelligence, SaaS, startup, investment, stock market, compliance, e-commerce, retail tech, Square, ChatGPT, chatbot, agentic commerce, cybersecurity, risk management, digital security, AI threats, technology trends, innovation, futurism, space tech, digital transformation. Thumbnail concept, a dynamic collage-style thumbnail capturing the video's 5 themes, with bold visuals and bright colors for high impact. The background features a futuristic cityscape merging into outer space, symbolizing the great frontier of tech and a nod to space colonization. In the foreground, 5 eye-catching icons or images represent each story: a rocket ship blasting off with a cryptocurrency coin for the Fintech/DeFi stablecoin launch, an overlapping handshake or puzzle pieces with financial symbols. To illustrate Fintech M&A consolidation, a scales of justice overlaid with a circuit pattern for AI and legal tech, a robotic hand holding a shopping bag for AI-driven retail tech, and a shield symbol enveloping a globe for global cybersecurity and risk management. The title text Tech and Finance News, July 8, 2026, is positioned prominently in a modern, bold font. Below or beside the title, a striking tagline like Digital Frontiers, 5 breakthroughs reshaping our future appears in a contrasting color to lure viewers. Thumbnail variations, A, B/C. A. Emphasize the fintech stablecoin launch with the rocket and coin larger at center, surrounded by smaller icon images for law, retail, and security. Use a dark starry